Hello. Hello. Welcome to yesterday, number 5. Hey. Howdy. Howdy, everybody. Happy Sunday. It is November 17th, 2019. And this feels so much more comfortable like this rather than like sitting to the side like I've been past few weeks. Real quick, sorry to everybody who's just listening to the podcast. I got to shout everybody out in chat. Allergy, Aztec Studio, my guy. What's up, Reese? Been a long time. Haven't seen you in a while, bro. And Kyle, thank you so much for the membership, bro. It doesn't update me like right when people join, but when I go to go live again, then it tells me. So I just saw your membership, man. I appreciate you, bro. Let's get some hype in the chat for Kyle. Appreciate you, dude. Anyways, I titled this podcast Consistency because I legitimately, what's up, Andrew? I legitimately had to like talk myself into and force myself to start this fucking podcast, at least for today. I don't know what it is. It's like, sometimes, people just get reluctant, you get lazy, whatever the fuck it is. And that's how I felt about doing today's podcast. I legit, like, I've been looking forward to doing them, and I still was looking forward to doing it. And but today was the first time that I really felt like, oh shit, there was like a part of me that was like feeling lazy about it. And, I don't know. I just had to force myself to do it. I'm glad I did. Once I started getting everything situated and, the thumbnail and all that, I fucking realized like, it's like a little parasite in your brain, that just tells you to be lazy and like not to do shit that that you're going to feel better about doing in the future. I don't know what that little parasite is. It's just laziness. Maybe it's because of all this marijuana. Maybe it's because I smoke too much weed, and maybe that little parasite is there because I smoke too much weed and I'm high all the time, so I tend to be lazy and not motivated. Maybe. I just don't know. But I feel much better. I feel like 10 times better about how it's set up right now, the podcast-wise. This is like so much easier. I'm just figuring things out, and I'm legitimately starting to, I don't know, improve every week as far as the podcast goes. And consistency has always been a hard thing for me to stick with. And that's all. That's it. I don't fucking know. I legitimately don't even know what I wanted to talk about this week. This is one of the first times that I'm kind of clueless starting the podcast. I mean, it's been a good week for me. I feel like I smoked too much weed this week. I'll tell you that. I definitely feel like, I don't know, like I'm not being hard on myself, and I'm not trying to be all negative and crybaby right now. I know that's kind of what the podcast is, right? Just, but I just feel like I'm starting to understand my dependency and how like weak I am when it comes to weed, and how much I do take advantage of it. And if I don't stay on top of it, I'll fall into the fucking cocoon of just being a 24/7 stoner, And then, of course, there's things that are like 80 times worse than that. It is that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to cry a baby about it, but it's just like taking these tolerance breaks and taking time. It feels like I'm just kind of starting to just see things better and be more aware, especially when it comes to marijuana and like smoking too much and shit like that, When it comes to alcohol, I did have a big, huge wake-up call. Not a wake-up call, but like a damn, like, not even a wake-up call. I had a big, huge, like, it was shoved in my face how bad. Huh? What? No, baby. I'm recording and I'm streaming a podcast. Go. I'll tell you when you can come. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Anyways, um, I had a situation kind of shoved in my face about alcohol. And I feel like the less I drink, the more time goes on that I see people that are super fucking drunk. And it's like, God damn. It sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks. It's like, it really makes me sad because it's like, there's so many people that I really care about that I've gotten drunk with for so long. And like, I don't know. I'm just starting to see like, damn, that shit is fucking poison. It really is. And I don't want to just get into that even more, but it's just like really does fuck people up and like make them say horrible things. And it's just like, that's not, people say that when you get really drunk, that's the true you. Absolutely not. That there's nothing more false than that. That's ridiculous. I can see that if you get slightly buzzed, you get a lot more open to being yourself. But that person who you are when you're super drunk is who you are when you're super drunk. It's not who you are. It's weird. It's weird. It's funny because I've seen people and I've talked to people for years like that are like against drinking and never drink, and it always used to confuse me and be like, what the fuck? You must have something to hide, or like some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I'm like, nah. I mean, maybe they did, but it's just like I don't know. Whatever. I'm just growing, learning, and it feels really good. Me and my wife went to brunch this morning. All you can eat brunch. It was at a Mexican restaurant called El Torritos off of Bear Valley Road in Victorville. Bomb. And it's an all you can eat like buffet style brunch. And they got fucking chili rellenos right there. They got fucking, they make you an omelet as many as you want right on this side. Pozole, menudo, salad, bean and cheese burritos, beans, rice, waffles, pancakes, fucking fruit, all machaca, fucking all that shit. Everything. You walk in there, it's $15 each, and it is the most fire fucking breakfast you could have in the world. In the world. Okay? In the world. Hash browns. Reese in chat asked about hash browns. Did they have hash browns? I'm talking about the best food in the world, Reese. And you want to bring up motherfucking hash browns? God damn it. Hey, you know what's funny? Is I actually got my daughter some hash brown sticks from Del Taco like a week ago. Oh, no, like maybe a couple days ago. And they said it was the best food they ever had. Hash brown sticks from Del Taco that are 99 cents for 5 hash brown sticks. Wow. That just goes to show you. I mean, you know, there's hidden gems out there. Not everything got to cost fucking $20, $25 a person to eat good food. But, so we went to brunch and we, just talked about life, and like, we were just kind of tripping out. Like, damn, like we've come such a long way. We went to brunch, just her and I, and we left the kids at home. Very rare that we've ever done that. But I told her, like, I want to take you out. Like, let's just go chill, you and me. And it was beautiful. It was really nice. And I told her every Sunday we need to start doing something, just her and I, if we can. Anyway, so we're at brunch and we're just talking about life and like how far we've come. And I was telling her about the podcast and how people really responded to it well. It's the most viewed podcast on the channel, most viewed, listened to on the analytics for all the other sites. Anytime I do any sort of content with my girl, like that shit blows up. So I don't know what you perverts are looking at, or what you guys, or what the fuck's going on. But yeah, apparently y'all like my wife. So cheers to that. Thank you, Life Transcending, for the subscription. I appreciate you. I'm going to try to do my best to not really give a fuck about like having to have the most perfect podcast ever when it's just me chilling. And when I say that, like, I mean, like, I feel like I've always, like, when doing the podcast and starting it, I feel like I've tried to focus on just consistently talking and having a good dialogue and shit like that. But I've also noticed that I don't know, it doesn't seem as fun for you guys who are in the YouTube chat, who really, make up 95% of who listens to the podcast in the first place. It's like, yeah. So when it's just me, it's not going to be as strict as far as like not talking to chat. You guys have some questions, I'll answer them. But when I have guests on, that's probably when I'll try to do my best to maintain just a regular conversation. I might even just not even look at chat or have it on when I have guests on. Because that's kind of what I want to do. When people come on, I just want to talk with them. I don't want to I might open it up to like a Q&A section. But yeah, I think that's what made it kind of awkward with my wife last week. When we started, I feel like I was super like anxious and nervous about it. But I think it was mostly because I was worried about chat and shit like that. If I just had that off and I knew that we were good, then I feel like it would have been a lot easier to just obviously, it would have been easier to conversate with my wife. We conversate all the time, but yeah. I am just, what was that guy's name? Life Transcending. That's the guy who just subscribed. Thank you for that, by the way. Life Transcending. Thank you for the subscription. I don't know why I didn't say thank you. Or did I? I think I might have. I don't know. Either way, thank you. But I do feel like my life is transcending as well. It's nice. It really is nice. Like, man, for the longest time, like, I feel like I've been stuck in this like young mentality of just like thinking I'm 100% right and like I know everything. And just, I don't know, just arrogance. I'm just stuck in this young, immature arrogance. And lately, it's like I've been slapped into realizing you don't know shit. Audible. Like, you really don't know nothing. And but it is nice to start like looking for answers and starting to figure things out. And I don't know. It's kind of like I'm almost like addicted to like self-improvement right now. Like I really am. And self-awareness. Because like for a long time, I feel like I've always wanted to do good. I've always been a good person, but I never like really, I guess, understood that in order to be a good person, it's not just saying that's what you want to be. There's also shit that you need to learn also. There's things that you don't know and that you need to work on every day. And it's hard to be a good person. It really is. But it works out. I don't know what I'm even talking about right now, guys. I'm sorry if we're dragging. Real quick, I do want to shout out Conscious Manifestation before I fuck up and forget. It's an ebook written by Sulema Pimentel. This ebook teaches you how to consciously connect to your higher spiritual self, and then from that aligned state, it shows you how to consciously manifest the life that you want. This book is a quick read. It's to the point, and it shares a lot of golden wisdom that can change your life for the best. To get this book, you can purchase it on Amazon for only $3.99. Just search Conscious Manifestation, and the author is Sulema Pimentel. If you'd like to further connect with the author, you can find her at sulemapimentel.com and follow her on social media. I am Sulema. Yes. Learning to forgive people have made a big difference to me, says Andrew in chat. And you know what? That's one of the things that I feel like I've struggled with the most. Like, I think that there's a part of me that definitely forgives, I guess, but it's like, it's hard for me to I guess completely forgive and forget. Like, I don't know. It's hard to forgive too when I feel like I've never really I've never taken action to try to do what needs to be done in order for me to forgive wholeheartedly, because I feel like there needs to be a conversation there. There needs to be certain things as far as my past goes. And I've gotten really close to doing it, but it just doesn't, I don't think that I'm going to get any sort of answer that I want and a response that I want. And I think that's going to fuck me up. And I'm nervous about that. I'm very scared to like bring these things up to people and not get the answer I want or the response I think I want or deserve or whatever the fuck, you know? But I don't know. It's a trip. It's a trip to think about. It's a trip to think about. I mean, I'm really by far the best I've ever been. Maybe not the most carefree, maybe not the most, I just don't give a fuck and just blind happiness, but I'm definitely in the best place where like I can see fuck ups. I'm the most self-aware I've ever been. I hope. It's like I'm becoming more self-aware by discovering how little self-awareness I have. That's a fucking bar, bro. That's a bar. I don't know, man. So what's up with this impeachment shit? Is he still in office or what? It's like I keep seeing like I feel like it's trying to be like suppressed. And I don't like to get political. I really don't know shit about that. What's up, Joshua? But like, I don't know, like it just seems like every time I've heard about the impeachment shit, it should be a huge fucking news, right? Like all over everywhere that the Donald Trump, our president, is going through hearings for impeachment, right? Is that what's happening? I don't know. It's crazy to me. Kanye 2020. You know what? I feel like it's eventually going to get to that point where it's literally just going to be a popularity contest as to who's running the president of the United States, as to who's running the United States. I mean, is that so much worse than what we had before? I mean, were all the candidates really like for years and years and years the best people? I don't fucking know. Who knows? I'm really not a political guy. I feel like I'm getting a lot more into it and understanding it more the more that I listen to like podcasts and Joe Rogan and interviews with Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and all these other guys. Like I'm really stuck on just listening to all those guys talk. And that gets really deep into some political talk. Like I'm starting to understand what liberal means and what the left and the right is and conservative and shit like that. Like I'm starting to get those ideologies. And it's like the more I understand it, the less it fucking makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me that there can be basically two different points of view that is supposed to make up the minds of millions and millions of people. Like, how is, out of millions of people, how is there only two ways of looking at things? And of course there's other parties and there's, different, of course there's, but what's really running shit in politics is the left and the right. And it's like, that makes no fucking sense to me. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like each side has good ideas and bad ideas, each side. But it's so fucking weird. It's so like East versus West and Tupac versus Snoop shit, Tupac versus Snoop? I think Tupac versus Biggie. Why did I say Snoop? Leroy in chat asked if I have any hobbies. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Honestly, for the longest time, this is what I do. This is my hobby. I mean, I play Fortnite a lot. That's a big one. My hobbies change, When I was really young, I used to play basketball a lot. I used to be into Pokemon cards, and I was pretty good with Pogs when I was really, really young. Had a bunch of slammers. How many of you guys know what Pogs are and had slammers? How many of you guys had Pogs in one of them tubes? And you used to collect Pogs, and then you used to have slammers in like a little plastic case. That's how old I am. You said you found your ancestry, Leroy? That's crazy. What's a secret to consistency? Just doing shit even when you don't want to do it. as I pressed go live for this podcast right now. I didn't want to do it. Like I legit ate a big ass brunch, came home, and I was like, damn, fuck, I got to do this podcast. And that's the first time that's happened in 6 weeks or 5 weeks. Yeah. And that feeling alone, I feel like for some people, and for me sometimes, would cause me to become inconsistent. And then what would happen is I would feel like a piece of shit because I was inconsistent. And then because I'm feeling like a piece of shit, I would continue to be inconsistent. And I'd be like, oh, fuck it. I already fucked up anyways. Let me just smoke some weed. Let me just go play some Fortnite and just forget about it. And then the yesterday podcast would have fallen off and become another fucking series of videos that I just never ended up finishing. Like Lasaz, Let's Smoke and Watch Something. That was a series I did one video for. Just raps. I did like 2 or 3 videos. There's a bunch of YouTube video series that I never finished. I never even did a second episode for. And it's mostly because like sometimes you gotta just fight through the bullshit and the laziness and the doubts and shit like that and just do something. I don't. It's really that simple, but easier said than done. And sometimes you don't have that self-awareness or that state of mind where you can be like, okay, just fight it. You just feel like shit, but you'll feel better later. Sometimes you just feel like such shit. You don't even give a fuck. You don't even think about it. And you just, it's hard. It legitimately is hard, but it's possible. It's possible. That's one thing I love seeing is consistency with people. Like there's these guys, Overly Blunt. They have a podcast, and I was supposed to go on it a few months back. It's just scheduling's kind of rough. They're out in Riverside. We're in Victorville. But they have a really nice podcast. They have a nice setup. They have like good conversations. They upload clips to Instagram. They're dope. And I really like, and I like to see, they don't have crazy amount of views or anything like that, but they're fucking, I just appreciate that they're growing and that they're just doing their best to continue, I'm going to actually give you guys their shit. They only got 67 subscribers. You guys need to go over there, subscribe to their shit. I'll be on one of their podcasts soon. Yeah, go show them some love. Those guys are dope. Yoda said that. Rick Waters in YouTube chat says, is the secret to not think about it, just do it? Is the secret to not think about it, just do? That's what Yoda says. So to not just do it. Just do it. There you go. That right there is legitimately the best fucking advice you could ever give yourself, or some of the best advice you could ever give yourself. Just fucking do it. Even if it feels like shit, even if you think it's going to suck, even if it does suck, at least you did it. And usually in doing it, you feel better and things end up working out. It's crazy. It's a loop. It's a negative thought loop. Joshua in chat says, how many grams do you smoke in a week? And do you get less motivated because of how much you smoke? And how many grams in a week? Like 7 grams. Like 5 to 7, I guess, depending on the week. But, and do I get less motivated? Probably, yeah. Yeah, sometimes. That's the thing with weed, though. If I smoke weed throughout the entire day, but still get everything done that I need to get done, then it doesn't affect my motivation at all. If anything, it helps. I think weed can perpetuate and like exaggerate most feelings that you have. If you feel anxious and nervous, sometimes if you smoke weed, it will make it a little bit worse in certain situations. Sometimes if you feel like shit about not doing something, it's almost like, I don't know. It's what it does is it makes you feel like this temporary release and this temporary freedom, right? And as much as I love weed, and I'm not trying to talk down on it like that, it's like that temporary happiness from burning something from an outside substance entering your body can actually mess you up mentally, because you get used to this outside substance making you feel better, and you forget how to make yourself feel better. And you forget that you don't necessarily need to smoke weed to feel better. Like, you don't need to smoke your day away in order to fucking like feel better about what happened throughout the day. Like, you don't need to smoke weed to fall asleep. There's other things you can do too. Like, I mean, it's just like you don't want to lose sight of that, because once you do, then everything else, everything gets confusing and foggy. You need to remember that you don't have to smoke weed. You need to not have to smoke weed. And that's why tolerance breaks, like once a month, in my opinion. Like, if you're smoking every day, I think once a month you should take like 2 or 3 days off, probably, for sure. And just like catch back up within yourself. And that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with smoking weed, to temporarily make yourself feel better. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Or to even recreationally smoke weed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But there is something wrong when you fucking are smoking so much that you forget how to fucking be yourself. That's just not, it's not the weed's fault. It's your fault. The same way when somebody fucking kills themselves, people want to blame the gun when it was the person who pulled the gun. It's an object. It's just a stationary object. This doesn't do nothing. It's so dumb. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, I get it, I appreciate you, Mo. Thank you, man. Thank you. Should smoke wax, you save more money and time on smoking. On wax, yeah, but then you get a higher tolerance too. And it's just not, to me, it's not as natural. So it just kind of, I don't know, it feels like there's more, like there could be more issues that arise from that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me, coming from a guy who's fucking had issues with a lot of other things, not just weed, and who's kind of desperate and trying to better himself at this point, that he's trying everything. I'm fucking legitimately just like testing everything out, making sure that everything is okay. And I don't know nothing yet. One thing I have figured out is that alcohol is not good for me. And the more I can stay away from it, the better for me. That's one thing I know for a fucking fact. But yeah. You bought a blunt, a pre-roll? Yeah, for sure. The tobacco is probably going to go bad. I mean, the tobacco, like the blunt, is probably bad, but I don't think the weed should go bad. If I were you, I'd probably take it, break it, and take the weed out and just make sure it's good and re-roll it. I've never tried 710 Lab stuff, but I heard it's really good. Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is, guys. I don't fucking know. I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to most of the shit that I talk about. And I'm being honest. Like, I do my best to try to be as honest as I can, but I really don't fucking know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go and sharing with you guys as I go what I've learned, and hopefully we can learn together and grow together. I bet you fucking over 75% of the people in chat right now have grown up with me. I get messages like that every fucking day. Like, let me go to my Instagram direct messages right now and see what I got. Let's see. Oh shit! I forget that I'm doing a podcast. Like your videos, man. Okay. Look at me trying to pull some shit up. Holy shit. This guy said he used to listen from Twisted Pictures over 10 years ago, and I've checked in on you throughout the years, on and off, seeing where you are in life. So yeah. Anyways, without trying to fucking flex or whatever the fuck I was just trying to do, I get messages like that all the time. That we've grown up together and shit like that, and you guys have been there for a long time. So it's good, and that's all I'm trying to do is just fucking be honest. That's all I've ever tried to do. Yeah, cheers. I love that you're using the emotes, Kyle. That's ridiculously dope. Anybody else, if you guys are interested in getting those dope ass emotes, it's only $1.99. Check it out. Just click that join button, baby. Cheers. This thing is cute. Little cup bomb. Oh, man. So the universe is going to be on next week. Next Sunday, we're going to go live probably around like 3 or 4 and around the same time, I guess. And we're going to stream with the universe. So that's going to be interesting. I'm really fucking excited for that. I'm thinking about getting a secondary webcam as well. So that way we could have 2 different angles. But the only thing that's kind of rough with that is like, then I would literally have to sit there with my finger on 2 buttons. And anytime he talks, I'll have to press his button to go to his camera angle. And then I'll have to and then when I come up, I'll have to press it for however long we're talking. And that alone is going to throw off the conversation. Oh, shit. So I don't know. It's like 2 webcams would be dope. But like, I mean, I guess I could just leave them both on so you guys could have 2 different points of view no matter what. That would probably be good, huh? Didn't think about that. Reese asked, how's Danny Fresh, and shout out me. Hey, Danny Fresh is doing good. My brother's doing great. We got to get them on the podcast soon, and they will be coming. I promise you that. I'm pretty sure I want to do it like this. I want to do Universe. Then I want to do my kids. I don't know. It's going to be Universe, and then either Danny Fresh or my kids. But I want to bring them on, the girls, and have them sit down and just conversate with them and just see where that goes. Oh, it's like, damn, what the fuck was I thinking? I think it was just laziness, and because I was like full and like tired that I had that initial thought like, oh fuck, I gotta do the podcast. That it just kind of fucking like made me like trip out a little bit. That like, damn, I'm already on the 5th episode. I got that thought. So that's kind of why I'm like, fuck that. I'm going hard. I'm going to do this. I have to do this. And I'm so glad I did. And now I'm all excited about it again. Hello from Amsterdam. What's up, Amsterdam? How you doing out there? I see you. Yeah, Corey is the universe, Reese. Yeah, so Corey will be on next week. Next Sunday. The man's got some music coming. He has this song that he made. What was it? What do you call it? God damn it! Some song he sent me, and it was just like so fire. Like, oh my god, literally one of the best songs I've heard in the last year, maybe. I don't know. I wish I could play it. He'll release it one day. My favorite song he's ever made, but it's gonna be interesting to talk to him. We both have gotten like really into like I don't know. We're both like kind of struggling with shit. Him and I, and we both kind of share a lot of thoughts, and we text and shit like that. So coming and talk and actually talking about shit is gonna be very interesting and fun. So who's got Disney Plus? You guys got some Disney Plus out there? Oh, Reese, you knew that. My bad. Yeah, so I canceled Netflix. Then I ended up getting Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. And you know what? I don't mind it. I don't know. I miss being able to turn The Office on anytime I want. But I think I was like, a little addicted, and I need to take a tolerance break from The Office. I think I was like getting, I was kind of taking advantage of The Office, I wasn't treating it with respect. Thank you. Appreciate you. Is it Simon? Thank you. Appreciate you, man. He says, I watched a lot of your story videos, man. Love the podcast format. Keep that up. By the way, did not check out your music yet. Where do I start? Thank you. Thank you. Check out The Return of the Introvert. It's on this channel. If you just go to like through my videos or on my profile page, or you could even just YouTube it, Audible 484 Introvert, and the full album's on YouTube. Check that one out. That's probably my best work to date. And anybody else who hasn't heard my music, if you guys are interested in listening, listen to the Return of the Introvert album I released in October of 2017. That's my most recent project. I'm currently working on a new project called Mindfuck. That'll be out before the end of the year. And yeah. All right, Kyle, you have a good one. Enjoy Joker. I'm actually going to talk about that. Joker was amazing. I just watched it. And it is a beautiful fucking movie. I actually want to watch it again. Enjoy it, dude. I'm not going to give no spoilers. Trust me, I don't do that. But yeah, it's a beautiful fucking movie. I wish there was more movies like that, you know? It's funny because I don't know. There's this Twitch streamer who talked about Joker, and he's like a kid. He's like 19. And the way he talked about it, he was just like, it was okay. It was all right. And it was like, I hadn't even seen it yet. But I don't know what got to me about it. It was like the arrogance of a young man who didn't seem like he understood or could grasp the complexities of a movie like that. And like seeing this kid just kind of like brush it under the rug. Because I sat there and thought, like, why did that just fucking piss me off? Like, why? Because when sometimes when things aggravate me or annoy me, I sit there and ask myself, why? That's so weird. Like, I try to figure it out. And I came to the conclusion that it was because it was this young man who shrugged off mental health and people who like have issues or whatever, or like movies like that, things with deep complexities and stuff like that, that he either understood it but and didn't give a fuck about it and like didn't see the importance in it, or like or didn't appreciate the complexities of it, or he was just so young he was arrogant about it and just brushed it off as well. And it was like, oh, so that's why it annoys me, because it reminds you of yourself. It reminds you of how you used to be. And it's like a lot of the things that piss me off or get under my skin have nothing to do with that other person, and it has everything to do with me. It's a trip, dude. Like when you really sit there and analyze yourself and why you said certain things. Why did that get under your skin? Why did you respond this way to that person? Why did you respond with what you said at that point? Like every single word we say, every response and feeling we have is like so egotistical and like has everything to do with ego. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's from just doing acid or doing psychedelics or what, but like, I feel like when it comes to like body language and just people's like responses and just like conversation and it just like, there's so many things and there's just like so complex in simple conversations. And it's like, I feel like from working where I worked and like having people who worked for me and I worked for, and having so many different conversations for years, and then doing YouTube and doing psychedelics and being in situations where I'm fucked up and tripping balls with people and we're all trying to conversate. I feel like I've just gotten really good, or I feel like I've gotten good at just understanding those little hidden moments and body language signs and different things like that. And it's a trip, because then you start to, because now I'm starting to really look at myself and why I do things, and like, damn, like I'm just such a basic bitch. I'm just such a basic bitch. It's hilarious. We all are just so basic and just like, I don't know. It's just so such a trip to me to really start to like just check myself out and be like, holy fuck, dude. Like, you're so lame. That was such an obvious, like, blah, blah, blah. And this, whatever. It's just hilarious to me. It's good, though. It's good. It's not bad. It's not like I'm embarrassed by it at all. It's funny. You learn a lot. You learn a lot. It's like sometimes I sit there and I'm thinking, like, why the fuck am I playing Fortnite so much? Like, why the fuck am I playing this dumbass, like, child game? And it's not a child game. That's the reason I'm thinking it's not a child game. It's the building aspect to it, and just everything else is very complex and very mature and very, like, people underestimate it. But I think a lot of it also has to do with it's hard, but mostly I think what it has to do with is that I think that I could one day be like this big streamer who like is like professional at a video game and people really, and he just looks cool. And I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes life does feel like a video game. It's a trip. Like, you got points, and sometimes your like health is low, and it literally is, dude. It's like, it's funny because this whole simulation theory really does sound legit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when it really comes down to what happens when you die, or what all this is, a really complex simulation to me makes the most sense out of religion, out of us just going black, and or like when we die, we just go to black and nothing happens and we're just done. Like, to me, what makes the most sense is that we are in some sort of complex simulation and that none of this is even real. That to me makes the most sense. Is that crazy? Does that make me crazy? That just literally, like, mathematically and scientifically what makes the most fucking sense to me. I don't know. That's so weird. It just really does. That's where meditation gets real interesting. I bet. I like you, Rick. You had a lot of good input here. Shout out to Rick Waters in the chat. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. And then I started listening. I listened to this podcast about quantum mechanics and quantum theory, and how basically it's like super, super complicated, and I can't really get into it. But according to quantum theory, there is, and the way our atoms move and shit like that, it's so fucking weird. That basically there's like another, like, there is a version of everything that can ever happen out there in the universe. That's how infinite the universe is. That not only is there intelligent life elsewhere, but there is, in fact, another version of you doing exactly what you're doing right now. But instead of listening to the rest of this podcast and finishing it out, you turn it off and then you go and do something else. And then there's an infinite amount of different things that person does in that moment. And that's how vast and infinite the universe is. And I don't know if that necessarily has to do with quantum. It's super fucking confusing, and I should just stop while I'm ahead. But YouTube it and Google it or whatever the fuck, and you can really get into it. It is insane. Obviously more complex than I could even talk about, but I don't know. It's a trip. It's a definite trip. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I know, like, I'm super smart. Like, my head is, like, I have a good head on my shoulders, right? And I'm like, damn, I wonder what I could have done if I would have, like, not got into psychedelics. Who knows if I'd be the same person? But let's say, like, I never got into drugs, or I never got into YouTube videos and making music. Like, what if I used my brain and I did something else? Like, what if I went to college and got into this crazy marketing company, and what if I could use my brain to come up with these crazy marketing strategies for Coca-Cola? Like, I know I could do that, but, like, how different would I be Like, would I still be the person I am right now? Would I somehow still like to smoke weed? Would I still really like pozole? Like, would that be my favorite food? Like, what happens in that life? Do I still somehow end up having Mila and Victoria? Do I meet Monica? Is she still alive in that life? What if when we were younger, instead of my mom getting a house out in Adelanto and me going to Silverado High School, what if she got moved down the hill and I started going to high school down the hill and somewhere else, and I never met Monica in ninth grade, and we never like fell in love and ended up having the two kids we had? Where would I be? It's terrifying. That scares the fuck out of me. To even consider a life without my kids would be terrifying and just gross. Makes me want to throw up thinking about it. Without my wife, like, what the fuck? There's no other woman out there. There's like literally no other one. I've talked to quite a few, and I've given some a chance, but like nothing ever made sense. After ninth grade, even seventh grade, maybe nothing ever else made sense. I can't even imagine it. Fucking yikes. That's the yikes for me, dog. I don't know, man. I'm zoning out a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, I'm glad I did this. I feel like today was just kind of a weird day. This week was not too eventful. I didn't have much to bring up or talk about. I tried to look up videos to show and talk about, but I didn't find any. But yeah, we're here. We did an hour already, or almost. Everything's okay. You see that? You see how beautiful that is? Sometimes you just got to do it. It was a little all over the place. Yeah, I've rambled about a bunch of different topics, but you know what? We did it. We're here, and everything's okay. Hey, you know what? I like this so much more. This is so relaxing. Like I feel like I could just sit here and talk for a long ass time. I'd be super comfortable. This is the best thing that I've done. And all I did is get this little tiny table and put it in front of my other table. And I might not even have had to do this. I could have probably just, I wonder if I even needed to do this. I could have just moved my fucking screen all the way back. There might be a new angle. I don't know. We'll see. We'll fucking see. But I think that helps a lot with the podcast when I can just fucking set up shit and just go. So, what are my thoughts on microdosing DMT? I didn't even know that people could do that or that you could do that. I could see how that would be problematic in a sense that like DMT fucks you up even in microdoses. I've seen people doing DMT like at Coachella in their campsite doing it like it was a fucking drug. Like they looked like they were like on heroin and shit. It didn't look good because they were sitting there smoking it like over and over and over. And it just didn't look like, I don't know, maybe because I didn't know them and it didn't look like they were like sitting there trying to like transcend and enjoy life. They looked like they were just trying to get fucked up and they were doing DMT and it just didn't look nice. Damn, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, microdosing DMT can still fuck you up even if you smoke a little bit. But I don't know if you do it at a point where you're taking a legitimate microdose, which is where you don't feel effects and it should just be like subconscious, or you feel slight amount. Then yeah, I mean, fuck it. I'd love to research that and get more into that. But all right, guys, you know what? I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. I feel like I've rambled on enough. I feel like at this point I'm just trying to continue till an hour for no reason. But I had fun. And I appreciate all you guys. Rick Waters, you've been dope. Reese, it's nice to see you again here, bro. Kyle, thank you again for the membership. Simon out in Amsterdam, I appreciate you for saying hi. Everybody else who's been in chat, who if you're listening to the podcast on Apple Music or whatever the hell else it's on, thank you. I know today was a little weird, but next week we got the universe on. We're going to get into some deep conversations. That's going to be fun. Kets, I appreciate you. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, Aztec Studio, appreciate you, dude. Don't forget, guys, you can become a member. It's $1.99 a month, and you get to use all the cool emotes. That helps us out a lot. Here, audible484.com for the merch. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. You guys are amazing. Much, 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 much love. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Peace out, Andrew.